Hello, my name is Amir George and I'm going to walk you through the demo of our embedded systems project. Our project has the following components: a PIR motion sensor, a temperature sensor, an IR receiver, and a relay module. And of course, there is the MP3 player on our laptop. The flow of our project goes as follows. The PIR motion sensor can detect the motion. Accordingly, it will light the light bulb, which in turn will heat the temperature sensor. We'll just have to wait until it reaches 27 degrees Celsius, because that's how we configured it in our code. And once it reaches 27 degrees Celsius, it plays music on the MP3 player on the laptop. From now on, we can use the IR remote to send signals to the IR receiver to change the song using forward, or backward, and we can pause or resume our song. Thank you. Now to talk about my role in this project, I was responsible for the relay module, the IR receiver, and the processing MP3 player on our laptop, and the overall integration of the project's components. To talk about the relay module, here we have the relay module's two connections: the normally open connection connected to the light bulb, and the common connection connected to the AC electricity. Between the relay module and the Arduino, there are three connections. The digital output connection, which is in our case pin 7, the VCC connected to the 5 volt of the Arduino, and the ground of the relay module connected to the ground of the Arduino. The code part of the relay module is simple. If we just detect that the PIR motion sensor senses high input, we digital write 1 on the relay module output pin. For the IR receiver input, it has 3 connections with the Arduino: the receiver pin, which is digital input 11, the power pin, which is pin 9, and the ground pin, which is pin 10. The IR receiver senses the IR signal from the remote and consequently sends a signal to the Arduino. For the code part of the IR remote, we had to import the IR remote library and initialize an object of type IR receiver and an object of type decode results to decode the hexadecimal value of the remote input. In the loop, we check if the remote IR receiver has an input ready. Then we check the value of this input. If it is equal to the value of the play button, we toggle the music. If it is equal to the value of the forward button, we increment the music index. And if it is equal to the value of the back button, we decrement the music index. And now to talk about the code of our processing MP3 player, we have the function toggle music, which checks on certain boolean, and accordingly serial writes A, which will be later captured by the processing code to play the song, or write serial B, which will be later captured by the processing code to pause the song. Or in case of pressing forward or backward buttons, it will after incrementing or decrementing the music and index, will write that index to serially so that the processing code can capture it and play the corresponding song accordingly. Here we have the code of our processing MP3 player, which is responsible for what was serially written before, and accordingly pauses the player, plays it, or plays a certain song according to the song index. Thank you.
Hello, I am Abdurrahman Saad, and I was responsible for the temperature sensor part, which was L35 sensor. It has 3 connections with the Arduino through a breadboard. which are a 5 volt and a ground and input signal connection, which in our case is analog input 0. Let's come to our code. We read the temperature by the read function, by the analog read function, and convert it to Celsius. Then compare it to 8.7. If it is greater than it, we call the function toggle music to start playing music. And thank you.
Hello, my name is Nader Nassim. I was responsible for the PIR motion sensor. It has 3 connections with the Arduino, 5 volts, the ground, and the digital input signal. In our case, it's digital input 2. In the code, I read this input by the digital read function, and if it's high, I write high to the relay output pin, which is in our case pin 7. Thank you.